We have one final video before we actually start playing Guild Wars 2. Why Thief is so unpopular. Now, admittedly, this video was recommended to me by a viewer, so I'm not that familiar with Thief. You guys can tell me if it's right or wrong. That being said, I always hated playing rogues and thieves in any video game whatsoever, especially MMORPGs. So whenever it comes to Guild Wars 2, since class identity is practically non-existent, some of you gotten mad there, but you know it's true. So I think Thief do kind of looks cool, right? At the very least, Deadeye. I do kind of like Deadeye. So with that in mind, let's watch the video and see why Thief is so unpopular.
So let's talk about Thief. More specifically, why I think Thief might be the least popular class in Guild Wars 2 right now, despite actually being really strong. Before we jump in, quick disclaimer, this is my opinion. It's a pretty hot topic, so feel free to share yours in the comments down below. Just keep it civilized. Also, we don't have any official player numbers from Arena.
It's not WoW players we're talking about here.
Observation, community data, and experience. So take it with a grain of salt, as usual. That being said...
So basically, he means the source is whatever the hell I just made up. And I respect that. That's admirable.
I do think there are some clear patterns worth talking about. Special shout out to all my dear supporters, and now let's jump straight in. Let's start with what I think is one of the biggest reasons. Thief's elite specs. And this is something Thief actually shares with Revenant. I made a full video on Revenant, by the way, so check that one.
Yeah, you don't see Thieves in Revenant. I mean, I started seeing Revenant recently, but I rarely see any Thief whatsoever. Like, you almost never see that class. And don't give me the stealth jokes, come on guys, this is not this type of stream, okay? Enough with the dad jokes. But for the love of God, like, why don't I ever see them? It's absolutely wild. Because it barely has any AoE in an AoE-focused genre? Really? I mean, I think that's on the developers then. Not because not giving them AoE, but because not giving them chances to shine. The only Thief class I enjoy playing is Wellbender. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that the Guardian has no class identity. I always said that. And I'm always right. Guys, make sure to type in the comments that I'm wrong, okay? Not only it's good for engagement, I actually do believe that I'm right. And Guild Wars 2 has no class identity. But I have to play myself way more characters, even though I've pretty much seen all of them, and I still think they have no class identity. But yeah, Willbender is 100% a thief, and it doesn't feel like a heavy Guardian at all. Definitely not heavy plated stuff.
Out after this one if you're interested. The problem is, Thief elite specs don't change the class enough. You've got Deadeye, Daredevil, Spectre, and now Antiquary. I know Antiquary is not really called like that, it's the red, I know, but yes, they play very differently. Rotations, mechanics, all that stuff changes a bit, but the core identity is mostly the same. You're still a squishy, DPS focused, and primary single target, and very assassin-like.
That's good.
Spectre, on the other hand, is the one real outlier. It brings support, flexibility, and a very different playstyle. But ironically, that's also part of the issue. A lot of Thief mains feel like it's not thievy enough. And I actually think that's good design. Elite specs should push boundaries, and here's the catch. Thief players often care a lot about class fantasy, being that shadowy assassin, striking from stealth. So when a spec drifts too far away from that, it gets rejected. You saw that with Antiquary.
Absolutely. And the players are right to push back on it. You're the one in the wrong here. Because, yes, specialization should push boundaries. They should never get out of them. And again, I'm gonna go to the Guardian Willbender argument. Willbender is not a Guardian spec. I'm sorry. Like, it's garbage. You shouldn't play like a ninja. You shouldn't. As a Guardian, you shouldn't do that. Okay? It's just weird. You can't go around teleporting from place to place, blinking as a Guardian. You can't go around jumping, zipping, and zapping, even though it's fun. Okay? I don't care that it's fun. It's immersion breaking, and it's inconsistent. That should never be the case. So I'm actually happy to hear that Thief players that actually enjoy the class don't like it being changed that much. It actually makes me happy, because now I know that some people do agree with me inside of Guild Wars 2. Now, let's read the chat and see if you guys flamed me over that. Let's see. Any group content are present because, again, they're mostly for single target. That's fine. I mean, let's see. True. Absolutely. I mean, Guardian is my favorite class. Willbender by far my most played in recent years, but you are correct. Thank you. I am vindicated. I'm absolutely vindicated right now. Guardian uses spirit magic to that stuff. Bro, if we're gonna justify every single thing with it's magic, bro, I'm sorry, but that's just garbage logic. I never like that. In movies, in video games, in TV shows, I never like the oh, it's magic argument. No, magic should have a specific rule set that it operates with. That's what makes all of the shows that actually explain how their magic system works so great, right? And I mean, it just to say, oh, it's magic. Oh, come on, it's not a children book, okay? We want something a little bit more sophisticated. If you were a magical user and could utilize a gun, why wouldn't you know? No, that's different, okay? That's different. But again, using bows, we can take the Guardian Dragon Hunter spec, for example. Using a bow is one thing, but laying down traps that are magically giving you protection, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
On the flip side, when specs stay too close together, they feel redundant. And that's the balancing problem Thief has been stuck in for years, and the ArenaNet couldn't solve it in my opinion.
Then you shouldn't play a hammer with your Guardian because it has semi-teleportation. I don't. I play a Greatsword. And Greatsword actually feels great.
Now let's clear something up here. Thief is not a bad class. Not at all. In fact, it's really strong, especially in PvE. It's great in raids, especially solid in high-end content. Spectre used to dominate fractals before the balance patch and is still very good, especially as a DPS. And you can also play Heal Spectre in all game modes. So the issue isn't balance, it's perception. There's still this lingering idea from older versions of the game that Thief is limited or one-dimensional, and that stigma hasn't fully gone away. Meanwhile, other classes look more impactful, more flashy or more versatile, especially in more casual content. And that leads us directly to the next big point. Open world. Open world is where most players spend their game. That's a well-known fact in Guild Wars 2. And honestly, this is where Thief struggles the most. Not because it's weak in open world, but because it's inefficient compared to other classes in my opinion. Think about it. A Reaper clears entire packs instantly without pressing too many buttons. A Guardian drops huge AoE damage and supports its allies. Even Engineer or Ranger can handle groups effortlessly. Meanwhile, Thief is very single target focused, limited in the AoE therefore, and not great at self-sustain in comparison.
So that's exactly what you guys pointed out earlier. Basically, Thieves has 0 AoE and they're all about single target damage, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually quite on theme with what they can do usually, right? But the problem is that Guild Wars 2 is homogenizing all the classes, and every class has to give like 7 different boons and do AoE and stuff. And whenever one class don't do that, they fall behind. And again, it's a balance issue. It's not a class design issue, really. Well, it's also a class design issue, but it's mostly balance stuff, right? Because you need to give opportunities for single target player character, classes, whatever, to shine, right? You can't just make it, oh, if you have AoE, good, and if you only single target, you're kind of screwed, chief. It's just really poor game design. Which profession has the best class identity? I would say warrior, probably. Warrior or elementalist. They are kind of good, and they're consistent.
Most cases. Yes, you can use shortbow for tagging and being mobile, but with mounts in the game now, mobility isn't as valuable as it used to be. What players really want in open world is big AoE, fast clearing, low effort efficiency, and that's just not where Thief shines in my opinion. And by the way, if you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, make sure to subscribe. I'm planning more videos like this where I dive into why certain classes are popular or not, and what could be changed. And also, quick question for you here. Do you actually play Thief in open world? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious to hear how many people actually...
Let me know in the comments below so I can avoid you.
Please stick with it there. Now let's move on to the other game modes. Let's start with Fractals. Thief is great there, in the right situations. In boss fights,
this raid looks fun.
Single target damage is top tier, but as soon as you hit Rash mobs or multi-target scenarios like in normal tier 4 Fractals, it drops off drastically and therefore not being played as much. So again, very specialized. In World vs. World, this is where things get even more extreme. In large-scale fights, so Zergs 50 vs 50 and stuff like that, Thief is basically non-existent, with the exception of Spectre. You won't see Deadeye, Daredevil, Antiquary at all, at least if you are playing somewhat competitively. The only exception is Spectre, of course. Because Spectre brings support, it is just filling a different niche. But in classic Thief roles, it just doesn't fit. However, in roaming, that's a completely different story. Thief is arguably one of the best roaming classes in the game, probably the best. It has incredible mobility, it has strong disengage and engage potential depending on what you need. It's perfect for picking fights on your own demand. This is exactly what Thief was designed for, with stealth, fast mobility, hard-hitting attacks. The problem, roaming and PvP, structured PvP, are niche game modes, and that's where its design shines the most. And that matters a lot. Niche game modes is where Thief shines the most, which is a problem for the playtime. And here's the takeaway. Thief excels in niche situations, roaming, in world versus world, PvP, single target PvE DPS, but struggles in open world, where you have large scale fights and general purpose gameplay. Thief struggles as well sometimes. And since most players focus on this broader content, they just don't pick Thief. Simple as that. At least if they have other choices and add other class fantasies that they like as well.
But you have so many abilities to choose from. You can just make some good for PvP and some good for PvE. It's not like you have, again, I'm gonna take Guardian as an example because it's the only thing I play. You don't have the same build for PvP and PvE. So why Thief like are the exclusion? I don't really get that.
So what could actually be done? Again, this is just my ideas. Let me know yours. But let's start with my first one. More distinct elite specs. Deadeye and Daredevil especially feel too similar in PvE. Same builds, same traits, very similar rotations, give them a clearer identity. One could focus on mobility and dodge-based damage, so if you need dodges you can still deal damage, like Daredevil, and the other could lean into ranged precision, like a rifle, or more burst damage. Just make the choice
I can get behind
meaningful.
that.
You can
I think that's a good idea,
class
if done
identity,
properly.
just make them a bit more different from each other. Second point, improve weapon diversity, especially AoE weapons, so area of effect weapons. Some weapons are heavily underused, in PvE at least. You have shortbow, sword, especially in PvE. These could easily become strong AoE options, viable open world tools other than just for mobility. This alone.
Yes, the Greatsword Thief. I'm gonna just decimate you with my stealth. It just doesn't make any sense, man. I truly hate the fact that you can use all the weapons almost on every single class in this game. It's so immersion breaking. It's just so weird.
Could massively improve
it never made
Thief's
sense to me.
accessibility and fun for most players because they play open world. Next point, carefully expand the class identity. Spectre showed that new direction.
Yeah, even using like one-hand sword, it's just like, bro, they need to use daggers and stuff. It's just way too much. It's just way too much. Like, Thief needs to have an identity. You can't have every single class in this game using everything. It's just really, really weird.
Are possible and the community somewhat likes them. But there's a risk. Go too far and the players reject it. Stay too safe on the other hand, nothing changes. There needs to be a balance between innovation and core class fantasy. Hard to balance. And now the bigger issue, competition. Thief doesn't exist in a vacuum. It competes with Warrior, Engineer and Ranger, all the non-magic archetypes. And compared to those, Thief is the least flexible. Full stop. Warrior is a tanky bruiser but can fill different roles. Ranger has pets and therefore a lot of versatility with its elite spec plus the pets. Engineer has a lot of tools, is the tech class and therefore a lot of flexibility. Thief is the stealth assassin. If that assassin fantasy doesn't strongly appeal to you, you're probably picking something else. And that's very hard to fix. How can ArenaNet do something against this? So in the end, I think this is the reality. You either redesign Thief completely, making elite specs alter initiative use and stuff like that, and risk losing its identity, or accept that it will always be a more niche, less popular class, and honestly, that might not be a bad thing. Thief has a very strong identity, and people that like Thief like it because of this identity. It just doesn't appeal to everybody. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Thief is underrated, or does it actually need changes? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Well, if he's that not like unpopular, I guess he does need some changes. Regardless, great video. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Obviously, you guys should watch it for yourself. Give this man a like. But I mean, when it comes to Thief, in my eyes, from what I know about him, I only know the Deadeye and like the new spec with like the cards and stuff and the antiquities. I believe that's how it's called, like antiques, whatever. They look pretty cool. They actually look pretty cool. Now, I'm never playing Thief or Rogue in any game whatsoever, so I'll never play a Thief in Guild Wars 2, but for people who do like that kind of stuff, it may sound really appealing. It's just a matter of, I guess maybe it's not meta enough, but only you guys can tell me, because I haven't played Thief, I never will. It's just a matter of, you know better than I do. Wait, Thief main here? Of course you can have different builds, but in PvE, you don't have much variety. Oh, there are many obvious traits that you always pick, therefore it's get boring quickly. So again, they need to change that. ArenaNet needs to actually pay attention, because they need to change stuff. No wonder Guild Wars 2 was always a mediocre MMORPG, no Trinity, no class identity, has some strong points like the events are cool, and the open world is great, plus the mounts are amazing to be honest. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 has its strong suit, which is the things that you mentioned and more, but story was never like a strong suit for Guild Wars 2. No Holy Trinity definitely was detrimental to the game, but it is what it is. Some people do like it. Personally, I think it just killed the game. I love Holy Trinity because I'm a tank main, but maybe I'm biased here. But the game clearly would have been way more popular if it had a Holy Trinity. I still think there's a reason why every other MMORPG out there is doing the Holy Trinity. Like, there's a reason for that. Thief is good for a niche it covers, fun as well as the same, but I hate rogue skin games. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that someone thinks the way I do. But yeah, I mean, again, Trinity isn't always wanted though. I'd rather have a fresh way. That also true. It just it depends, right? But if we're going by popularity, you can clearly see that there is a reason why all other MMORPGs went for a Holy Trinity. But I'm glad Guild Wars 2 hadn't, actually. I mean, even if I don't agree with it, I'm glad they chose a different route. Because it's something different. And I respect that.